Maxwell were to receive a pardon at some point, what would that mean for you?
It would unwind everything that my sister and all the survivors fought for. It would be a disgrace of justice. It would be picking abusers over survivors again.
That was Sky Roberts, the brother of Virginia Giuffre, a very prominent accuser of Jeffrey Epstein. You just watched it. You just heard it. You can hear the pain, the victims, their families. They are still enduring from Epstein's crimes. Just moments ago, we got this statement from an attorney for numerous victims and survivors on the release today of the transcripts of Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with Deputy AG Todd Blanche. Quote, Ghislaine Maxwell was federally indicted on 2 perjury counts as a result of her testimony during her civil deposition. Having been convicted of sex trafficking, she is now in jail, presumably hoping that she will receive a pardon from President Trump. I can't imagine that her testimony will be given much weight by anyone with any knowledge whatsoever of her involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Joining me at the table, former Criminal Division Deputy Chief at SDNY, MSNBC legal analyst and host of the YouTube show Courtside, Christy Greenberg. Amanda Carpenter is also back with us. You know, Christy, the point was made earlier that there is, and it is clear in her testimony that there is an effort to clear Trump specifically. A lot of the questions are specifically about Trump. A lot of the answers very complimentary, even in particular sections to him. But you just made the point to me that she's actually doing even more than that.
Yeah, I mean, she actually says she never saw anyone with underage women. They go through a list of names. They go through a list of people that Epstein, would socialize with. She never saw anybody with underage women. She claims she recruited these masseuses because Jeffrey Epstein liked massages, and sometimes multiple massages a day. But she never thought there was anything inappropriate about that. She never thought any of these women could be girls underage. It's preposterous to read it. It is rambling. It is defensive. It is evasive. She clearly is very well versed in the record. She at multiple times is pulling up parts of other people's testimony to try and rebut what they said, rather than just speak to what she saw and what she heard. She is very clearly having a narrative that she wants to portray, which is, I had nothing to do with any of this. To the extent there was a scheme, it didn't involve me. I wasn't really involved with him. I was never really around him. I mean, it is, to read it, preposterous that anybody would believe what she is saying. And if you don't, at one point she talks about being in prison and says for 2 years that the prison guards woke her up every 15 minutes. And those were complaints that she had raised during the course of her case and that were disproven. So once you're lying about some things and it's shown you're lying about some things, you can't credit her on anything. If you can't accept responsibility for your own role, if you can't show remorse to these victims, then any clearing of anyone else is meaningless. You should just not credit anything that this woman says. She is a pathological liar, and it is obvious from reading the transcript that that's the case.
And the fact that the DOJ chose to release these transcripts?
Well, why are we getting these? Where are the accounts of the victims? So look, in a criminal case, generally, you don't see any of this, right? If people don't get charged, that's the end of the matter, case closed. But you can't cherry pick and say, I'm going to share with you the account of a convicted sex trafficker and somebody who's been charged with perjury. I'm going to share that, but I'm not going to share the accounts that counter what she is saying, that she actually was deeply involved, not only in facilitating the sexual abuse by Epstein, but committing it herself to these girls, and that she knew that they were underage. How do you just have this be so one-sided? It is, it's such a miscarriage of justice. This is not what justice is supposed to look like. It's just, it's incredibly disappointing.
Amanda Carpenter, so part of this, at least politically, strategically, is supposed to quell the appetite for more information from now what is a bipartisan group of folks who feel like these files should be released. My sense is among those who have followed this case the longest and are sort of the most interested, there is nothing short of a data dump that is actually going to quell that interest. I wonder if you think there is anyone other than the White House that is satisfied by the release of these transcripts.
No, they promised to release the Epstein files. The Maxwell interview is and never was part of the Epstein files. She was sentenced in 2025. This was an interview by Trump's lawyer to protect Trump from the fallout about the Epstein files. What this really is nothing but a sketchy PR stunt by the Department of Justice. And we have seen this movie before. The Maxwell interview is to the Epstein files what the Barr letter was to the Mueller investigation. It's spin from the Department of Justice in lieu of the real findings, the real investigation, the real files. Ghislaine Maxwell had her day in court. She told what she had to tell to her lawyers before she went to prison. This was done to secure better treatment and to possibly seek a pardon. And so I like you played the victims at the beginning of the segment, listen to the victims. Do not listen to what Ghislaine Maxwell has to say. And my God, do not call this part of the Epstein files, because it is anything but. And anyone who buys into that framing is taking the bait from the Trump administration.